welcome to B Movie Badness. I'm B Movie Night, and today we have a special guest, a new special guest, my good friend Michael, aka Xelizel from Twitch. Say hi, Michael.
Hi, Michael. Hi, folks. Thanks for having me.
Michael wants to talk about 1984's Gremlins, like no one's ever heard of that before. And I'm going to pretend that I've only seen it once, that night when we watched it. So I'm going to pretend that I saw it one time. Like, I haven't seen it 30 times. So, Michael, what is Gremlins about?
Yeah, so Gremlins is essentially about a small town that is sort of invaded by these strange creatures, except it doesn't really start out that way. It actually starts out with a father who's looking in Chinatown for a gift for his son. And he comes across this very strange, quirky Chinese shop down in a practical dungeon. A kid lures him there, and he finds this little creature, a creature called a mogwai, and he manages to procure, I won't say how, the little creature. Is kind of like a little fuzzy ball. If you ever had one of those old Furbies, I think the Furby was practically like based on this creature called a mogwai.
Yeah.
Yeah, and essentially this great little sweet singing creature named Gizmo by the father essentially comes into the family and sort of befriends the family pet, the dog Barney, and is loved by the son, the father, the mother, and so this quirky family. The father's kind of an inventor who's constantly selling these interesting gadgets that seem to always not work after a few tries. Find out that there are 3 very specific rules for the mogwai, and that if you break these rules, very extreme things happen. So, and I guess that's what ends up leading to these magnificent creatures called the Gremlins. Which, fun fact, I suppose, were sort of harkening back to World War II and the planes in particular, if I remember correctly, the pilots and Gremlins were said to be these creatures that were really mischievous, that were always messing with wiring and mechanics of planes and stuff like that. And so if a plane malfunctions or something like that, they would say there must be some gremlins about. And so that's kind of the lore behind these. And they might be harkening back even further to medieval times and part of the fairy tales, and gremlins might even be a part of that sort of line, but I'm not too sure about all that.
How'd you find that out? So this is my first time hearing this.
Yeah, so there's quite a bit of lore that's been incorporated in plenty of different science fiction and fantasy stories, whether it's Dungeons and Dragons, where there's basically complete rip-offs of certain creatures and stuff, and gremlins are in those kinds of stories. And there's also a lot of modern day like fairy tale stories that I've heard either on TV or in books and stuff that have also harkened back. One of the ones that comes to mind the most, because I've read quite a bit of the series, is Patricia Briggs' series, and so they have some gremlins or similar types of creatures, fae, if you will, fairies, in that story. So very interesting stuff. But I wonder if it's Steven Spielberg, if I remember correctly, who does this story. Am I incorrect in that, or am I misthinking? Not Steven Spielberg. Is it Spielberg?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Which I was really surprised to watch. And it's interesting because I watched this as a kid, probably only once, but it made a very big impact on me, especially the Mogwai Gizmo. But to watch it again as an adult and know who's directing this and the amount of things that they did in the time period, like it was about the same era of Star Wars and all their sort of big costumes and puppets and everything like that. And, you know, it actually is fairly fascinating. And it's hard to call this, to be honest, a B movie. But from today's standards, if you go back to it and the way that the acting and everything like that, I don't know. I gotta say, I'll put it into that category.
I guess it's like the most famous B movie.
Yeah, gold standard.
Okay. We're going to talk about a few scenes that stood out. Okay. Number one is when Gizmo first got wet. That was kind of uncomfortable to look at. It was weird looking at like little balls on his back.
Yeah, it looked like he was being tortured. It was like his face at one point is like grotesque. He's just like, you know, he's just in severe pain.
I felt bad for him. He's so cute, and that happened to him. Okay, number two, the microwave scene. You want to talk about that?
Well, look, out of all the characters and the people in this movie, I'm just going to give like 10 out of 10 awesome action mom to the mom of this story. She comes up with some fairly unique and amazing ways of fighting off some of these terrible gremlins. And the microwave scene is just magnifique, as they say in French. Yeah.
Okay. And we're speaking of the mother, Mrs. Peltzer. I like the part when one of the gremlins is inside the mixer.
Yes.
The mixer, and then she turns it on. His legs are kicking.
Yeah, you know, she's so quick thinking. She doesn't hesitate. It's not like, oh, this is like kind of a gentle creature. It's like, no, these are like invading my home, and I will get down to business, you know? And so it just happened. The opportunity comes and a mixer is involved. And let's just say you're not short on some green food coloring after that.
Like their favorite thing to say, yum yum.
Yum yum.
Yum yum. Yum yum. Yum yum.
Yeah, particularly when it comes to candy.
They eat all kinds of stuff. Like, I mean, so like, what are they supposed to be like? Animals, I guess. Animals.
I guess, yeah.
They're some kind of animal, and they're eating human food, junk food. I thought that was weird. But I guess the last scene is, I think it's my most favorite. When one of the gremlins fell into the pool at the YMCA. Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Like that was ultimately like 100 of them or more started forming in the water.
Well, I kind of thought like there's a scene earlier on of this scientist who's just testing one of the rules of like whether or not to get the mogwai wet. And he just does one drop of water and it duplicates into two. And so I basically was asking myself, I was watching this scene in the pool, I was like, how many drops of water are in a local YMCA swimming pool? You know? And so it's like, that's essentially how many of these gremlins end up coming out. So, but very, I mean, it's a frightening idea for sure. And as B movie as it was, it had its genuinely jump scary moments and some very suspenseful things, and that to me is a hallmark of a good movie, as much as the campiness and the sometimes poor acting of a B movie. So.
Poor acting. I didn't see any poor acting in there. That's you, tough critic.
Perhaps. What can I say?
So Okay. Well, I guess that wraps it up. We have talked about this movie because this is not a show that's an hour too long because I cannot talk that long. Well, Michael, I'm so happy that you came on my show. I had so much fun. And let's see. I know where to find you, but where can others find you?
Well, most of my socials are on Twitch. I'm pretty much on Twitch. That's where I am. Twitch.tv/the Xelizel, all one word. And if you go there, you can find me on Discord. There's a link to my Discord server. I'd love to have people come in there to meet up, to talk about interesting things, whether it's philosophy and psychology and theology, which is kind of my expertise, to movies, which I love, which is why I'm here. And of course, I do play lots of video games on Twitch, and some of my content is also on YouTube, the Xelizel on YouTube as well. So,
cool stuff. Please follow this guy. He is amazing. One of my best friends. We became fast friends, like really fast. So that is all, everybody. Thank you so much for watching B Movie Badness. See you next time. Bye.
Bye. Nice. That was good. All in one take. No screw ups or nothing.
I can't believe it.